So, how our brave protagonists will get out of this one?
Oh boy, if I recall correctly, this is the part of the game where things start to go completely off the rails more than they already have.
Again, we have been in a plane crash, and remember, our character has not been receiving nectar for a while, which means we're about to witness what this game passes for going through withdrawal.
I think there might be a problem with my nectar administrator. Do you copy?
Ah, that texture. So yeah, your objective is to just wander around Shrek's swamp for a while until the game decides that you're good enough to progress. Not even kidding. This is the next frontier in David caging.
Copy that. Fan out and sweep. Keep an eye out for Carpenter. We're having some problems triggering his nectar administrator.
I don't think
that's very frightening as a.
I don't think it. No, it was Jova actually. I don't think they're gonna answer.
That was me.
I don't think they're gonna answer you, Jova.
No, I was whistling something else. Tio got what I was on with.
That was All Star by Smash Mouth, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How random.
Ah.
Well, we are in a swamp. And hey, in regards to being scary, it was whistled on DBZ Abridged Kai.
Of course.
Which is probably
don't mention whistling when it comes to Dragon Ball.
The memorable quotes that we heard 5 minutes ago.
You know, I gotta just love when any bout of media literally flashes back to something.
Oh boy, here we go. Ah, what the fuck? Yeah, okay. I have to reiterate something because I don't think I actually ever mentioned. This is actually a blind run that I did, but so when I read this point, I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I thought you edited that in.
No, Dej, I lack the tools to do that.
Not only that, but we take pride in not stooping to jump scares.
Give me more credit. I would have probably done something more funny. Come on.
That too, yeah. But seriously though, this is basically the game's way of showing your character
going through withdrawal.
Man.
No, that's the opposite, Joe. It's withdrawing, so he's having some weird hallucination. And as a result, because the company that hired him is cartoonishly evil, we're gonna try to kill him in order to not have him witnesses, even though this guy hasn't affected them at this point.
So, welcome to the Resident Evil 7 commentary.
Nah, this is not scary, it's not entertaining, and it's not engaging in the slightest. Sorry.
It's so paper thin. Also, hey, remember when this game was supposedly supposed to be the new Halo, not the new killer. Resident Evil? Like, again, okay, now to be fair, the devs themselves did mention that they were annoyed at being constantly compared to Halo, so fair enough. But man, it feels like the game itself now has suddenly changed genres as well. And you know what? I get it. Sometimes games can try and do something like this, but this kind of comes out of nowhere. Oh, sure, yeah, we know that, you know, the heroes had all these nectars, things and everything, but I know it's going to sound weird for me saying, but the way the hallucinations go don't really make that much sense.
It's also lame, Jova. And you have all the creativity in the world to create a scenario where these drugs, halt the horrors of war, but they're extremely dangerous to your psyche, and they do nothing. Again, Batman Arkham Asylum, if I recall correctly, was about to come out around the same time, and had a much better idea what to do with hallucinations.
Wait, hold on. This came out in 2012, right?
2008.
Oh, 2008. Oh, shoot, then yeah, Arkham Asylum was about to come out.
So I'm gonna point this out. Yes. It's really interesting that the gaming industry has moved on from making Halo killers to now trying to copy Destiny's model.
And Anthem.
Don't forget the Battle Royale format.
No.
Alright, maybe we can
Destiny came out first.
True. I mean...
Also remember, for a
while... Where do you
while,
think Anthem was trying to copy?
Also, even before that, we were trying instead to ape up Counter-Strike and Team Fortress 2 with both Overwatch, then Battleborn, then Paladins, then the other. team.
Yeah, they're about like a decade late on that one.
And that's the thing, though. Destiny is not even really a game that people like these days. Now, Destiny 2, after it got out from under Activision's boot, did become something that people are tolerable of, but I don't get why try and copy the Destiny for me. Like, sure, yeah, you could argue that game sold, but guess what? Its sequel, which was also following off that formula, didn't do as well.
Apparently it is. That's why it's still getting updates and people play it.
That's. It's doing better now because, Bungie themselves are running the project, but I tell you, before it got out from under Activision's heel, it was not doing nearly as well as the first game did, at the very least. And you know what that means, Dej. Normally for companies, that's often a death sentence.
All right, you're not seeing it wrong. The game is just that committed to showing you your character going through withdrawal, but the fact that you can't literally see jack shit right now, only vague forms.
Maybe I'd care more if I understood this character more, but as far as I know, character here.
Surprisingly, we're actually about to, because Merino. We're gonna meet Merino again. He's actually gonna ask us some questions about us.
Oh boy. Only like an hour or two into this game, and we're finally actually figuring out about the person we're playing as.
Okay, to be fair, it's like what, 2 hours around. Like, keep in mind some things have been cut out and sped up. So,
consider this also. Like, how much percentage of game are we done with at this
halfway
point?
through with this one.
So yeah, you wait till halfway through to actually tell us a damn thing.
I was gonna use the 4 hours meme from Angry Joe, but it's not really fitting. It's slightly more, between 5 and 6. Okay, I get it, game. Our character is withdrawing. He's in a very comatose state. Can I please see what's going on? Hell, Alone in the Dark, which came out, the Alone in the Dark reboot, which came out the same year, had a fucking gimmick about, moving your eyelids in order to see better, pressing the R3 button. Can I do that?
This is not a place
of course. All right.
Wow, you know things are bad when we're pining for something from the Alone in the Dark reboot game.
Don't talk. Just listen.
All right. Let's listen what Merino has to say.
Body needs something. Our body will punish us when we try and take it away. We don't fully understand it, but the drug they give you protects your mind from seeing the things you do.
No duh.
It keeps your view of the world neat and tidy, no matter how much you mess it up. Your body has come to need it, so now it is punishing you.
No duh.
In the copper plant.
So it's like the plot of Catwoman now.
Kinda, except it's with more psychological and less about having diamond skin.
Rest now. When you're ready, maybe we will find out.
I don't even get this. Shouldn't soldiers be prepared for war? Is it like something about this new civilization that's all about censoring the graphics and horrors of war?
We're about to get a bit more of this. Because, again, Merino also has some legitimately questions about why the war is happening. So, essentially, we're going to use this excuse also to compare notes.
Thank you.
Yummy.
Outside, they're asking questions about you.
Yeah, is it funny that this guy of all ones managed to survive that plane crash without any protective gear?
Did you tell them?
Yeah.
And all he has is just a bandage on his hand.
He's still missing his finger. Remember, we cut it away.
So, let me guess. It's all a dream and he's hallucinating.
No, sadly, no.
You know something is
also,
bad when we say
please don't do that. I get it again. The immersion, but I need to be in first person, and I need to see the fact that Merino is carrying me. Like, can't I have an actual? Why? Like, this game did not need the fact that every cutscene needed to be in first person. I'm sorry.
So, I just have a question. How is it that the one man who didn't have protective gear on probably was able to fast leg it better than any of the soldiers
This is
who
never
did
explained.
have all the protective gear on?
Wait.
This is never
I have an explanation.
What?
Shut up, that's why.
Oh, here we go.
I was at college. I just left college.
What's Sean Connery doing here?
And held the gun.
Hold on, Reeves.
You joined.
Yeah. It There was the radio, the TV, internet.
Yeah, apparently they were so convincing using fake news.
There was so much of it. Then one after
I mean,
got
that's-
to wondering, what's the point of being aware of the
I'll
world
save
like
it.
that if you're
I
not
get it,
socially
it's supposed to be a commentary also about the war in Iraq, I get it, but Jesus Christ.
It is.
This is,
Like the-
again, this is cartoonish.
Yeah, like it's obvious that the media always has done this for years. So, but I just wish that, like, if you're gonna make a message like this, you have to do it in a smart way instead of, wow, look at how up to date we are.
They might have been.
There.
Again, Spec Ops The Line is a much better product in this regard.
You know, unfortunately, this is the problem with Ubisoft games. Subtlety is one of the Ubisoft's weakest suits ever
See that in
in
the
like
news.
anything whatsoever here and there.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention actually, this takes place in the year 2048. So approximately now around 25 years, there's gonna be like a war and with drugs and shit.
ATO, how much you want to bet that if this franchise had been a success, this would have been in the same universe as Watch Dogs and Far Cry?
Why not? I mean, this is all at the end of the day. Surprisingly, considering the plot is relatively flimsy, this might have been harmless to shoehorn in another one of Ubisoft properties.
There is someone who knows. And that
Okay, the camera work is not good in this game.
No, it's not.
It makes that common mistake where, yeah, you're supposedly looking from the view of your character, but this implies that your character's head is literally a camera and not an actual head.
So Marine essentially has pontificated all about how we can be pure at heart. We follow the heart of the cards or something. So basically, please join our team instead.
So, I'm sure our hero will probably have a lot to say about suddenly
Oh
changing
shit!
his
All
life.
the others
and-
have survived.
You motherfucking A! You're meat!
Stellar writing.
We were unable to remove the drug administrators from your people.
Those are not my people.
Good, because it's just you and me.
Oh,
against
watch
them.
this. I don't know what is worse, the timing or the stock sound effect.
Jesus
fuck?
Christ. Oh, but yes, guys, this was going to be the Halo killer that Ubisoft was shouting from
Yeah, I'm just putting anything post like a big hashtag up here, hashtag Halo Killer. Why not?
Is that going to be the title of this part?
Why not? I think the chapters do have some kind of naming, but this time I want to make an exception. Why not?
So there you go. Our big exposition guy is probably
And
pretty
our
much
protagonist
dead.
just let him run away. So unfortunately now we have to kill Pesci and Watchtrap, alas.
Why? Because potatoes at this point. I don't even really get our protagonist's main motivation, like who he's siding with or whatnot, but I guess that speech won him over, so now he's gonna kill what we can assume to be our
Okay,
friends.
now I have to explain this. Now you essentially switch alliance, which means that you don't have any more the bonuses of the nectar and all, but you compensate by having quote-unquote guerrilla tactics from the Merino's faction. AKA you can do stuff like playing dead in order to trick the enemy into thinking that you're dead so we cannot see you on their radar. You can, I think, like have a dodge, and you can potentially, very good, disarm an enemy if you perform attack at the right timing in order to steal their weapons. Again, this is one thing that Joe was mentioning before, but it's tied to Melvin Masso's video. Ubisoft essentially forced the team to implement a bunch of rather pointless mechanics for the sake of differentiate the team far enough. Never mind the fact that Halo has managed to function for decades at this point, just with the simple red versus blue mode where the teams are basically identical in a way function. So why the fuck this Halo killer needed to be this differentiated is beyond me. Oh no, guys, we killed Pesci.
Not Joe Pesci.
He was such a source of humor with his homophobic slurs.
Oh no, Pesci, please try and stop me as I pull the trigger. And that's the thing.
Frustration is getting bigger.
Bang, bang, bang! Pull my devil trigger. But honestly, here's the problem. Our protagonist.
And he just dies like that. Marino,
Wait.
how did you teleported?
And didn't you literally just get shot?
Hold on.
No, he got pushed down.
Motivations about the war. Let's hear it.
Crimes against humanity.
This game is a crime against humanity.
I don't know.
What crimes against humanity? Before Mantel arrived here, we
I'm
didn't
still
even have
trying
an
to
army.
discern if whether or not you're a hallucination, given how many times.
No, I
you
can tell you that
probably-
everything is real. They don't even bother to go for that kind of twist.
So then, how did he survive? Not only in a plane
Not just that,
crash,
Jova.
but getting
Everyone
shot?
survived the plane crash. Everyone that was on the plane. Aside from me from the pilot, I guess. But that did not have a name. It wasn't the name and character. So who the fuck cares, am I right?
Okay, if they at least maybe showed bullet wounds on the guy, but no, apparently his bullet wounds healed. Never mind the fact that he was shot point blank while on the ground.
Actually, no. The Duval was so stupid that he actually shot on the ground, but not actually Merino.
So he was trying to look cool but failed.
Or that could be just contrived bad writing.
Yes.
Or both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's pick both of them. Why not?
Holy cow!
And
this
keep in
game.
mind, now you're gonna spend pretty much the rest of the game chasing Duval in a game of cops and robbers, essentially, until the game finally decides that it's enough and lets you confront him. Not even joking.
So Duval is actually the bad guy, even though he's the one who kind of has helped convince us to switch sides.
Actually, no, Merino is the guy that convinced us. Duval was the ex-sergeant.
My bad.
Again, it's more the fact that instead of actually tackling the corporation like you were kind of hinted you were going to do in one of the early trailers, you're essentially going around one of the very minor lieutenants that is a literal who, and who the fuck cares?
Good God. These characters are so intermixed that I actually got them mixed up.
I'll take a look.
Also, since Carpenter has actually switched sides, of course, basically it means that aside from Merino, everyone else in the Resistance is not gonna trust him, at least at first. Which means a lot of stilted, dull, and potentially boring dialogue.
Okay, I'm sorry, but this just doesn't work. You can't have a character.
Also, where the fuck are your character shadows?
Okay, this
ghosts secretly, I guess.
I'm gonna take the JPEG artifacts in Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2. Please, I will get that if the alternative is no shadows at all.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this.
Well, that's a PS2 game, isn't it?
Yes, too.
Also, of course, the symbol is a hand.
Yeah. Again, the movement is called the Promised End. I don't even know why. Because, and again, like I said, Jovan, the terrorists spout the same 4 generic lines, which means since they're gonna be your allies, you're gonna hear them all the goddamn time.
Great. I'll just say this. The plot immediately does not work as soon as our protagonist switches sides. Why? Well, unless you have a good reason, you can't have a character who's been established to, for the better part of his life, been working for one faction only to just immediately, switch sides. Like, sure, I get it.
Not just that, Jovan. Our protagonist immediately believes Merino. Like... I get it that the company that he worked for is, a piece of shit and everything, and most likely has done bad propaganda in regards and to commit atrocities towards these people in order to get their nectar. But again, our protagonist has just basically met Merino. Merino has spotted a couple of stock generic lines, and our protagonist's reaction is essentially, okay, I believe you.
Let me put it like this. This would be like if Chris Redfield immediately believed Blue Umbrella during the Not a Hero DLC of Resident Evil 7. Like, come on.
Low text. Sorry, no.
Like, okay, after everything Umbrella did, of course Chris had trouble trusting Blue Umbrella until they ultimately did prove that they were on the up and up. So, but this guy's just...
Screen.
Well, okay, to be fair, Deds, it's complicated, but the whole Blue Umbrella thing is explained, just not so much in the games here. And
yeah, exactly. But again, it happens off screen.
Gotta be honest, also, again, for a long time, people still legitimately thought that that couldn't have been increased. Also, for the record,
Yeah,
once again,
that,
the controls of your vehicles are ass. It's super. Look at what the fuck are these particles moving? Like it's supposed to be dust, but.
So, Dej, you haven't said much. What are your thoughts on this game so far with these amazing developments?
This looks bad. This looks really bad.
Yeah, I know, right? Again, it's sadly another case of a company that worked better on the SD era, entering the HD era and not living up to it.
You know, the real sad thing is that I think that this company could have had something going if Ubisoft hadn't stepped in and placed their own, mind you, I emphasize inexperienced producers in charge of the project. And the inexperienced producers weren't allowed to be challenged. You know, in fact, they even had.
Sorry, Abelardo. My bad.
Well, that happened.
Can you get back on board? Oh, I guess he's dead. All right, moving on.
Well, that happened. Jesus Christ, this game. But yeah, seriously though, I feel so sorry for the dev team. You know, having this project more or less be taken from their hands while they're still forced to work on it here and there. And, well, of course, they pretty much got all the blame when this game surprisingly didn't do so well with the masses. God dang.
These effects, I don't know what's worse, the overall gray, the bloom, the Vaseline to cover the drawed instance. Jesus Christ.
I am certain that I've seen PS3 games made before 2008 that look better than this. And even if it came out after, Arkham Asylum literally came out a year later, and that looks so much better.
Basically now the enemy, one thing that they don't tell you is that the enemy base is a mortar, meaning that you need to find a way to destroy it before you actually reach the place, because otherwise it will basically bomb the shit out of you.
Also, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that we won't get much clenching dialogue about our old allies expressing distraught horror at the fact that their teammates
considering they're constantly stolen out of their asses. No, Jova.
Sorry, I blinked. What happened to the girl?
Which bot girl?
The one on the back.
Wasn't there somebody riding with you?
No, it was a man, Dej, and yeah, he died off screen essentially.
Okay. Literally, what happened was the game bounced the model off, and he never got back on. So we can just assume that he's dead.
And also, like I said, Dej, I don't think there, aside from like one or two rare cases, maybe in a cutscene or something, I don't think there are actual female characters in this game. Which, like I said, like it's not too noticeable, considering especially how bad the most of the game is. I think it's basically the last of its problem, you know. But it's also another residue of the transition in between, the ages of the video game industry.
Well, you know Ubisoft's model. Female characters are too hard to program.
Honestly, I don't even know if it was like a request or anything, or it was just a thing that the development team took for granted or something.
So here's something hilarious.
What?
The guy who said that, he works for Stadia.
Is Google Stadia basically just a refugee camp for everyone who fucked up in the video game industry?
Yeah.
I think so.
He also was the person that complained about the Game Awards is too racist towards Western games and also favors Japanese games.
Right. Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not.
It's the literal fucking opposite. Is this guy living in bizarre world?
I think well, Tio, he thought Stadia was a good idea.
Oh my god, I can't see shit!
Jesus Christ!
This is why I did not want it. This is why I did not want it Shiri for this run.
Look, guys! Because they died, and
since I jump cutted to another, like that I had. This time I make sure to keep the other rebel on the back of the pod.
The only reason why people found out about him was because when a few months ago, when Twitch was doing some DMCA's for music, he was defending. It's like you should because he completely missed the point. He was like, you guys should be grateful that video game companies are allowing you to stream their games, even though it had nothing to do with it. And then he got owned so hard that he had to change his profiles, like my opinions on own. And actually, I don't really work for Stadia. I work for a company that's making a game for Stadia. It's like, you got
Alright, one of the advantages that you can do potentially is that if an enemy is giving your back, one of the Nectar enemies giving your back, you can potentially shoot them on the back of a neck to trigger the overdose system of the Nectar, meaning that they will actually fire on their teammates. So again, there is a good tactic. And you can also create potential mines or grenades made of Nectar, like the one that one of the enemies did use on you, one of the earlier parts. So again, there is some tactical strategy and all, but again, a lot of times it feels just unnecessary, made for the sake of, differentiating the factions while you didn't really need that. That's not even mentioning the fact that barely anyone played the multiplayer of this game, even at launch. So
yeah, multiplayer. Can only wonder how well that went.
I honestly don't know when exactly the servers were shut down, but I don't think it was too long after the release.
If I recall correctly from Matt McMuscle's video, I think the servers got shut down like a year after the game was released, or hell, less than a year after the game was released.
Probably.
That was just cartoonish, and not in a good way.
Basically, what you're supposed to do is to instead shoot a rock that is there, which will crumble and actually destroy the plasteel, whatever it's called, the barrier.
AKA
Timber! And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our protagonist deals with a fucking barrier.
Yes.
Okay, can we move on now?
Christ, I've made better looking levels in my game designing class than this.
Anyway, tune in for the next part where our brave protagonist Comforter continues to fight the good fight, this time for Merino.
Alright.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.